Hello, and welcome to the Venue Coach Blueprint for Owners. I'm Kyle Labar. This podcast is all about helping you fill your wedding venue with more bookings, earn more from each one, and keep your customers happy for a long time. We'll also talk about some tough times and big lessons that I've learned along the way. Let's dive in together and make your venue the best spot for weddings. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Venue Coach. Today I wanted to talk about networking with other wedding industry professionals, so other vendors especially, and the impact that we've seen it have on our business. And so there's some obvious perks, there's some not so obvious ones, but really what it comes down to is the goal of the venue is to provide the best experience that they can for the couple and for their guests. And so to do that, unless you provide everything, right, all inclusive, you provide everything, you can control the staff, you can control the DJ, the photographer, the catering, everything. There's going to be some outside parties, some third party influence that's going to have an impact on the day, and inevitably it falls on the venue and as far as like customer reviews and things like that. So I'm sure there's a I'm not alone when I say that it's not uncommon for guests that have had a less than excellent time because of an outside vendor leave a bad review on the venue's pages. And so we've seen that with the DJ, we've seen that with catering, we've seen it with requests even that the bride and groom have made that we have honored. And so it's important that we control the variables to make sure that we're providing an excellent service as much as we can, given that we're working with people outside of our control, as far as when they come in on the day of, that sort of thing. What is inside of our control is who we let in again and again and again. And so that goes down, or that touches on the networking piece that I wanted to talk about today, because if you have good relationships, a lot of vendors understand that the venue is the first stop and that the venue has a lot of the pull and sway on which vendors get booked. But the other aspect is some venue owners let that get to their head and then they just act like, well, I am the gatekeeper and I am all of this, and so either they treat the vendors poorly or they just don't show up on the day of the event, or they're, not very involved. And not to say that the venue owner needs to do that, but rather the venue manager, whoever is actually running the day of on the event. And so what we like to do is we will interact with our vendors. We like to get to know them, and I said some of the obvious stuff. We have received business referrals from our vendors before. They might have a friend who's getting married, and they say, "Oh, you've got to go to the Black Oak," and so that's awesome. But the other thing we do for them is, if they're great, if and they're providing a good service and they're great to deal with, we're more likely to refer deals to them. And so when we had our open house this past January, and we had 40, no, it was like 60 couples come through, we had our vendors there, and many of them booked events on the spot. Many of, like, we had actually we had a dressmaker there, and one of our brides that had booked at our venue purchased her display dress. Like, she went into the bridal suite, tried it on, and purchased it off of the mannequin at the open house. And so when you have those types of relationships, it's not just the venue gets all the action, but we're taking care of our vendors, so they'll take care of us. And so that sort of networking and that level of attention and care for your vendors will just pay you in ways that you don't even know, and you'll never know. And so I hope that the listeners, you fellow venue owners, that you are being excellent to your vendors and encouraging and supporting the ones that are excellent back. And if you do that, then it just creates an all around better experience for the couples, for their guests, and it inevitably and invariably impacts your bottom line and just boosts your amount of bookings and the amount of positive goodwill that you have out there. And so my hope is that you have gained something from this episode that you're able to implement. And if you have a list of vendors and you maybe you're starting out fresh, get to know them and get to know what styles you like and who you really work well with, and before you know it you'll be able to be synergistic and be able to help each other out. So hopefully this was helpful to you. If you found it useful, please subscribe, share it, drop a comment. I'd love to hear from you and see what sorts of awesome things have happened because of your relationships with your vendors. But I will catch you on the next one.